You don't have to be a perfect leader, but in the first 5 minutes, you do have to be intentional. Whether you're walking into a meeting, kicking off a project, starting your day, those first 5 minutes of leadership will either build momentum or they might create confusion. This is your moment to set tone. This first 5 minutes could establish trust. It could show your team what matters most. In today's episode, we're going to break down how to lead well right from the start.
This is the Champion Forum podcast with Jeff Hancher, the forum for leaders, champions, and dreamers.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's always good to have you back with me for another episode of the Champion Forum podcast. Look, we've all heard that first impressions matter. How you start can create great momentum. I just wonder how often we think about this in our day-to-day. Do we get into these routines that we're just kind of going through the motions? We're just kind of doing what we've always done. How intentional are we whenever we initiate the first of anything? That's why I'm talking about the first 5 minutes. Today, we're talking about leadership moments that matter. These first 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes of any leadership moment, whether it's a meeting that you're starting, a conversation that you're having with a teammate, or even starting your workday. All of these have a profound impact. Why do they have a profound impact? Well, they determine a lot of things. They determine the level of trust that you command. Do people trust you? The first 5 minutes may determine that. It may even be the outcome and maybe determine the energy and the engagement of your team. Are you modeling this out? You want energy on your team? You want engagement on your team? The first 5 minutes that you do anything, are you presenting that same level of engagement? Are you presenting that same level of energy? It might even be the factor between whether you're seen as a reactive leader or an intentional leader. Yep, the first 5 minutes. It could do all of those things. It could literally impact your leadership brand. Intentional leaders, they use the first 5 minutes to lead emotionally. They use those first 5 minutes to lead culturally, and they're very strategic in their approach in those first 5 minutes. Those first 5 minutes can literally set the tone for the next 50. So they're very, very important. So how can you be a leader that creates a high impact and a great initial impression? How can you be a leader that can maximize these first 5 minutes? First thing that I would tell you is arrive with presence. Leadership presence matters. You know what I'm talking about? Leadership presence is one of these things that you can't really teach, but you know it when you see it. You know what I'm talking about? You know that leader that shows up and when they enter the room, everybody kind of sits up a little bit straighter because they have arrived. You know, this doesn't mean just punctuality, by the way. Don't just show up. Don't just be on time. I'm talking about arrive. This aura. Right? And I'm not talking about arrogance. I'm talking about this confidence that comes. I'm talking about engagement. I'm talking about this first 5 minutes. As a leader, you are fully engaged. You are composed and you are undistracted. You are on a course for leadership impact. How do you do this? Well, you make great eye contact with people. You greet your people by name. You smile. All of these things matter. This body language matters. How you address somebody, it matters. Your demeanor as you arrive in the first 5 minutes, it tells the room what to expect from the very moment. And I don't care if you stepped in dog crap on the way to the office, if you got a speeding ticket on the way to the office, if you had a fender bender on the way to the office, that first 5 minutes, you show up, you arrive, you set the tone for the entire team. That's a call to action. The other benefit of this first 5 minutes is that it sets the emotional temperature of the room. People take their cues from you, leader. That's an absolute fact. If you're rushed, you're frazzled, they're going to be too. This is where leadership composure comes into play. And I get it. You were late running out of the house. You got a text even from your boss about missing a number or whatever it might be. You can kind of feel your chest tightening up a little bit. This is the time to do a little bit of box breathing, get your composure back, and arrive to your team. If the moment is high stakes, you're going into a high stakes meeting, a high stakes moment. You know, everybody's already on edge. You know it. We lost our best account. A new competitor came into town. You could go down the list. When it's a high stakes moment, guess who you are in the first 5 minutes, leader? You are modeling calm. You're modeling calm. That first 5 minutes, it absolutely matters. We're bringing the composure when it's needed. We're bringing the energy when it's needed. If you want energy in the room because everybody just came off of a bad month and you want to be the voice of reason, bring the energy. Bring the charisma. Bring all of the body language that you can muster up. Bring a chest out, shoulders up, energy into that office. You set the tone. And don't forget to affirm before you ask. Do not start a meeting or any conversation without maybe some recognition or appreciation. You know, this is earning the right to talk business kind of deal. And look, I get it. Like we need to talk about, you know, the key performance indicators. We got to get updates on the SMART goals. We got to get updates on the new product launch and all the things that happen in these kind of meetings, initiatives, competitive strategy, SWOT analysis. I'm in. I want these meetings. They need to happen. But those first 5 minutes really set the tone. You know, if we're going to make these withdrawals in these meetings, how about we make a few deposits? Hey, before we dive in, team, I just want to say, great work on last week's project. Man, we finished ahead of time. We launched very, very well with minimal challenges. And the challenges that we had, man, you all rose to the occasion. Brad, your performance, it was unparalleled. I really appreciate you going the extra mile, staying late that one day so that we could finish ahead of schedule for our customer. Now we go in to the agenda, right? We have to earn the right. What we do in those first 5 minutes, it matters. It sets the tone. And I'm not saying this has to be, you know, confetti cannons and pony rides every single time. But I will tell you this. Humans are in front of you. There has to be a level of humanized leadership in those first 5 minutes. When we do this, we start to build trust with our team and we lower resistance. It's so important. And in those first 5 minutes, maybe what you want to do, and look, know your team, know your dynamic. That's why I'm giving a host of different pieces of advice. You know, leadership is tactful, isn't it? If leadership was just read the book and execute, we'd all be geniuses. But there's multiple ways to set tone in the first 5 minutes, and one of those is to clarify the win. Clarity is kind, isn't it? In the first 5 minutes of the meeting, you might want to start defining what success is. Or what the task is. Hey, listen, team, by the end of this meeting, we need clarity on ... Avoid drifting into this ambiguous kind of talk. Be an outcome-oriented leader. This is going to set the tone for the rest of the meeting, right? Maybe what you want to do in that first 5 minutes is set an anchoring type question. Hey, what's the most important thing we can accomplish today, team? You know, that might be something that you do in a team type of a huddle. Maybe in a one-on-one, the first 5 minutes, you say something like this. You say, what do you need from me today to win, Brad? What do you need from me? Man, what a great way to start a conversation with a deposit. Maybe in that next team huddle, you say, hey, guys, what's the biggest challenge we're solving together? What's the biggest challenge that we're working on together? Look, let's say that you're walking into your weekly team meeting. You could, as an option, you could walk in late, phone in your hand, dive straight into the agenda. Hey, everybody, hope you had a good weekend. Here's what we're talking about today. Somebody pop up the pie chart. Somebody get the graph. Where's my laser pointer? Going right into it, right? You could do that. I'm not even saying that you'd be wrong. I'm just saying there might be a better way. Maybe you could walk in 2 minutes early, 3 minutes early. Make eye contact with your audience. Open with, hey, everybody, before we start, I just want to highlight some incredible customer feedback that I got over the last 5 days since we met last. And you tell them about it and you celebrate them. You know, the difference between these two scenarios is a team that follows your energy versus a team that questions your leadership, the outcome is profound. Leadership, it's not just about what you say. It's how you show up. And often the first 5 minutes speak louder than the next 50 because it sets the tone. Are you a tone setter leader? I know that you are. And I hope that this episode challenged you to be intentional about those first 5 minutes. This week, I want to challenge you to pick one leadership moment, a meeting, a call, a conversation that you're going to have with somebody. Be intentional in those first 5 minutes. Don't wing it. Own it. Set the tone. Clarify the win and connect before you correct. That's what great leaders do. Until next time, make those first 5 minutes count and keep turning that pressure into potential.
The Champion Forum Podcast with Jeff Hancher. Lead, inspire, win.